Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over the build that I've been using for Summerset on the Magicka Nightblade. This is definitely a fun build and I'm having a lot of fun. Not much has changed since Dragon Bone, but just a couple of things with the skills, but outside of that, nothing much. Magicka, I have Max Magicka 39.2, Magic Recovery is 1.2k, Max Health 15.4k, and Spell Damage is 2.3k, Spell Crit's 53.3. I have 58 points into Magicka, I have 6 into health, and the boon I'm running is the Shadow to increase my critical damage. Apparently somewhere along the lines I have been scratched by a werewolf. I'll make sure to get that fixed. Either way, the food I'm running is Witch Mothers. Now if you back bar, not much has changed. Spell crit does drop to 57.6 and spell damage to 2.1. Now that is with Witch Mothers. If I was to use Bicep food, my max Magicka goes up to 41.9, my max health goes up to 18.3, but my magic recovery drops to 776. So it's entirely up to you on which one you use. So now for the sets, you can go Burning Spellweave. I go Nern on the staff with a flame damage enchant on it. What Burning Spellweave does is it gives you max Magicka, spell damage, spell crit, and when you deal damage with a flame damage ability, you have 15% chance to apply the burning status effect to the enemy and increase your spell damage by 500% for 8 seconds. This effect can occur once every 12 seconds. Back bar, I'm running a Maelstrom Inferno Staff infused, enchanted with a weapon and spell damage enchant on it. The monster set I'm running is Zon, infused with Max Magicka Heavy. What Zon does is it gives you spell crit, and when you damage a nearby enemy with a light or heavy attack, you have a 20% chance to create a beam of fire that will connect you to your enemy. Beam deals 5.1k flame damage every 1 second to your enemy for 5 seconds. Every second this damage increases by 50%. Beam is broken if the enemy moves 10 meters away from you. This effect can occur once every 18 seconds. So, 5 seconds up, 13-second cooldown. Now, the second 5-piece set I'm running is Master Architect, Divines, Max Magicka. What Master Architect does is it gives you Max Magicka, gives you Minor Slayer at all times, increasing your damage done to dungeon and trial monsters by 5%, gives you spell damage, and the fifth item, when you use an ultimate ability, you and the closest 2 allies within 20 meters of you gain Major Slayer for 10 seconds, increasing your damage done to dungeon and trial monsters by 15%. This is absolutely incredible. At the start of the fight, you drop your Destro ult. You and the 2 closest people, you get Major Slayer. Now, by the time that Destro ult ends, half the time, depending on if I have a potion or not, if I can pop a potion, I've already got enough ultimate to use my end cap. That end cap gives me Major Slayer again, and then the closest allies. It literally does not take long for me to get Major Slayer, for me to get that end cap back. Potion gives you 20. You have all kinds of other abilities, especially for fighting undead and stuff like that. From the Fighter Guild passive, you generate ultimate very, very quickly on a Magicka Nightblade. So Master Architect is definitely a great go-to set. I try Sororius, but the movement, stuff like that, just seen Master Architect seem to outperform. DPS test dummy, Surya obviously does better because of the fact that you're just standing still hitting a dummy, but when you gotta move, you gotta do things, you can't just stand still in that. Master Architect seems to outperform Surya. I'm running Zon Shoulders reinforced with Max Magicka. Now the reason why these are reinforced is because of the fact that I have not transmuted them, and I'm not going to transmute it. I'm after a medium Zon Shoulder, but RNG absolutely hates me right now. I went through 100 keys and cannot seem to get a medium shoulder. So I'm just rocking the heavy for right now until I can get a medium, but it will be Divines. So you definitely want a heavy head, medium shoulders with the 5 light on the body. So that way you keep your 5-1-1. But right now, so you want, if you have a medium helmet, you either want it infused or Divines, and you want the shoulder Divines. Master Architect waist with Max Magicka Divines. Master Architect gloves Divines with Max Magicka. Master Architect breeches Divines with Max Magicka. Master Architect shoes Divines with Max Magicka. You know how I was talking about RNG hates me with these shoulders. You know how bad it was that after running Halls of Fabrication dozens of times, I think I probably ran it 8-9 times or so, I could not get gloves, legs, or feet in Divines. So I decided to break down and transmute them. Right after I did that, I did another guild run, and I ended up getting Divines, hands, legs, and feet all in one run. I give them away because I didn't need them. But the fact of the matter was that right after I did that, I got all 3 pieces in Divine. So I guess I got anxious, or Zos just wanted to laugh at me a little bit, torment me. So after wasting 150 transmutation crystals, I ended up getting the right ones I needed in the right trait. Burning Spellweave Necklace, spell damage, arcane, and 2 Burning Spellweave Rings, arcane, both with spell damage. Now, if you wanted to, you could definitely turn one of these into a Bloodthirsty or even Infuse, because you have a good chunk of Max Magicka. But I'm having fun with this. You can definitely pull more DPS, especially in the execute phase with one Bloodthirsty. And I will turn it Bloodthirsty as soon as I get to it. Now, skills. Front bar, I'm running Inner Light, which gives you, the first one's more for PvP, but while slot your max magic is increased by 5%, you gain Major Prophecy, increasing your spell critical rating by 2.1k. This one, Elemental Weapon. Infuse your weapon power, causing your next light attack used within 2 seconds to do an additional 8.1k magic damage and apply the Burning Concussion. Burning Concussion or Chill Element status effect. Resources are refunded if a light attack is not activated. Impale. Throw a magic blade of lethal precision and strike an enemy, dealing 4.4k magic damage. Deals 300% more damage to enemies below 25% health. This is your execute. That 4.4 seems relatively low, but this thing will hit upwards between 30k to 40k, depending on how many CP points you have. Merciless Resolve. Build up deadly momentum to gain Minor Berserk, increasing your damage done by 8% for 20 seconds. While active, hitting an enemy with 5 light or heavy attacks changes its ability in Assassin's Will, allowing you to fire a single shot from a Spectral Bow at an enemy to deal 17.8k magic damage, and induce their movement speed by 40% for 3 seconds. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I've had someone, I've asked multiple people and they don't seem to have the issue, is that sometimes, not every time, but sometimes this thing will only hit for 3k, 1k. I mean, I don't understand it with the bow, but there are times where it will not hit that hard, and there are times where it will hit for 20 plus, but there are times where it just won't seem to hit above 5k, and I don't know if I'm missing something or what, but I have no idea, to be honest with you. Debilitate. Sap an enemy's agility and bolster down your own, dealing 17k magic damage over 8 seconds to reduce their movement speed by 40%. You also gain Major Expedition, increasing your movement speed by 30% while your enemy is crippled. If an enemy dies while affected with Debilitate, you restore 100% of the ability's cost as Magicka. Now, you can run the Crippling Grasp. It's entirely up to you. I just like having the that refund it costs me when the enemies die. And then you run Fiery Rage. Create a Storm for 2 seconds and then lay waste to all enemies area, dealing 9.5k flame damage every 1 second for 7 seconds. Back bar, Inner Light. Unstable Wall of Fire. Slam your staff down to create an unstable flaming barrier in front of you, dealing 2k flame damage to enemies in the target area every 1 second. Burning enemies take 20% more damage from this ability. When the effect ends, the barrier explodes, dealing 3.3k flame damage. This should be Blockade. I guess somewhere along the lines, when I was resetting my skill points so I could have enough for my jewelry traits, I must have messed up and morphed it to the wrong one. But yeah, you want Blockade, not Unstable. But either one of them will work. But for a rotation, it's just quicker with the Blockade. It's just easier to keep up. But then again, with Twisting Path being 11.5 seconds on the back bar, this isn't, maybe not necessarily a bad thing. Twisting Path. Create a corridor of shadows dealing 1.8k magic damage to enemies in the target area every 1 second. While on the path and up to 2 seconds after leaving it, you gain Major Expedition, increase your movement speed by 30%. Siphoning attacks. Imbue your weapon with soul stealing power, causing your light and heavy attacks to heal you for 1.4k and restore 106 Magicka for 20 seconds. You restore up to 4.2k additional Magicka when the effect ends based on the length of time siphoning attacks was active. This is the way that you maintain resources. You keep this up right afterwards, it goes down during the execute phase. If I'm having trouble, and it's got 5 seconds left or so, and I'm just burning through Magicka for some reason. Why? Because I wasn't paying attention for some reason. Got lost in my head. Activating this a little early, give me just enough back to maybe last me until a potion comes back or something. But you always want to make sure that this lasts the entire 20 seconds. Shield, Harness Magicka. Surround yourself with a net of Magicka negate to absorb up to 14.7 damage over 6 seconds. While active up to 3 times when spell damage is absorbed, you restore 1.3k Magicka. Each piece of light armor war increases the magic restore by 6%. And then Soul Harvest. Ravage an enemy with a spinning attack dealing 13.5k magic damage and increasing your damage against them by 20% for 6 seconds. Also inflicts the enemy with Major Defile, reducing their healing recede and health recovery by 30%. While slotted, anytime you kill an enemy, you gain 10 ultimate. Champion points. I have 26 into Warlord, 9 into Sprinter, 65 in Tenacity, 75 in Arcanist, 34 into Tumbling, 41 into Shadow Ward, 51 into Elfborn, 56 into Elemental Expert, 26 into Spell Erosion, 16 into Staff Expert, 26 into Master at Arms, 75 into Thermometer, 30 into Spell Shield, 15 Light Armor Focus, 75 Hardy, 75 Elemental Defender, 23 Bastion, 32 Quick Recovery. So that's the build. It's definitely a lot of fun. As you can see, like I was saying about Master Architect, you drop your Fiery Rage. This costs 250. So it's real quick. You get your Major Slayer for, let me see if I remember correctly. No, I'm not sure. For 10 seconds. Alright, so for 10 seconds you'll get Major Slayer to start the fight when you draw Fire Rage. And then this takes 70 ultimate to throw. So literally, after you pop a potion, your spell power, whatever, your spell power pop, when you start to fight, you only need 50. Passives in, I think, Siphoning allows you, after you drink, you gain 20 ultimate. Casting a Siphon ability generates 2 ultimates, effect can occur once every 4 seconds. So, with a heavy attack, light attack, all the ways that you can gain ultimate, you definitely attain quite a bit of ultimate pretty quickly. So it's usually within the 10 seconds, or just a couple seconds after the 10 seconds, you're able to Soul Harvest, which will give you Major Slayer again. But anyways, if you don't have Burning Spell Weave, you can always supplement this with Scathing Mage. I found that to be the next best outside of Burning Spell Weave. Anyways, that's the build, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. As always, have a great day.